Hey everyone, my name is Bryce, and welcome to the first of 32 NFL record predictions, starting with my hometown Chicago Bears. Now, before I actually get into the record prediction, I want to say one thing. I am going to do this in the exact same order that I did for the 2020 record predictions. So, I think I did Bears, Packers, Vikings, Lions. I'll do the same thing this year. I did the Falcons first, so for the NFC South. So I'll just be doing it in the same order. So, anyways, we're going to get started with this. And yes, I did look at some rosters. I did look at as much as I could look at. And I got a general idea of where I think the Bears would go. Now, when I saw the Bears no, not the record. When I first saw the Bears schedule, I thought this was the toughest schedule in the entire league. The Bears don't even have back-to-back home games at all during the season. I believe that they're the only team that has that. So this is a very gut-wrenching schedule. The at home games I can deal with. The away games, they're just god-awful. So we're going to get started with Week 1. Week 1 on the road against the Los Angeles Rams, a rematch against Matthew Stafford. This time he's on the Rams, acquiring a blockbuster trade-offs in the offseason. This should be an interesting game. We're going to see how well the Bears can do against the Rams defense, because last year they did horrendous. Can Andy Dalton or Justin Fields? I think it's going to be Andy Dalton starting for the first maybe few games, and then maybe Justin Fields will go on like halfway through the season. But right now I think Andy Dalton's the starter. This game I don't have high hopes for. This game is god-awful. This game is god-awful for the Bears. They're playing against a very good Rams defense. The Rams offense I might have a couple questions about. But I don't like the looks of this game. I'm sorry, any Bears fans who are watching this. I have the Rams winning Week 1. So that is a big thing, and everything just updated on the website, because why not? Next up, the Bears are at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. I like this game for mostly the Bears. The Bengals defense, it isn't that good. Maybe their pass rush is decent, but I don't think their secondary is that good. The Bengals offense though is gonna be one of the better ones in the league. It could be top 10. We'll see how the Bears defense can handle up with the Bengals offense. But in my opinion, this should be a win for the Chicago Bears. I think Andy Dalton will get maybe 150, maybe around 150 yards passing, maybe 2 touchdowns. Two touchdowns passing, maybe an interception. Then the Bears are on the road against the Cleveland Browns. This game will be an interesting game. I think the Browns have a real shot to win the AFC North. They have a really good chance to win it. It could go either or. In my opinion, this is going to be a very close game. I think this could be a surprise win for the Bears. I have the Bears winning this game. I have the Bears defense stopping the Browns' running attack. It should be interesting to see how that running attack plays out for the Browns. But if the Bears can stop it, they have a good chance. And I know Baker Mayfield is really good, but I think the Bears' passing defense. I have questions about Desmond Trufant. I heard the Bears were interested in a former Steelers cornerback. I forgot what his name was. But I think the Bears will get a win here. A surprise upset win. And get a winning record for the first time this year. And then the Bears are at home against the Detroit Lions. This will be another interesting game. Especially for how how former Rams quarterback Jared Goff is going to do. Because everyone's predicting him did not do good. I think he could be decent, but I don't think he's going to be that good. He doesn't have many wide receivers. He has a good offensive line, but it really is just going to depend. He's going to have all the time in the world, but can his receivers get open? That's the biggest question. I don't think the Lions are going to be that good this year. I have the Bears win this game and going to 3-1 for I believe, another year. I forgot. For the past, for the fourth year in a row, the Bears go 3-1 to start out the year. Then the Bears are on the road, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, the other interconference game. I don't know if that's how you say it, but the expansion game. taking on the Raiders. This is, in my opinion, going to be a good game. Because the Raiders last year started out really good. Early in the year, the Raiders are always decent. They're always good. After like 10 games, they are god awful. And that's going to be early in the year. The Raiders have a really good chance to win this game. But also the Bears do. I had the Bears starting out 3-1 last year. I think I had them starting out like 6-1 or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen again. It could, but it's probably not going to happen. I have the Bears winning yet another game on the road. I know this is kind of biased, but listen, the Bears, I don't think they have the greatest chance to win the NFC North. So, we'll just have to keep that in mind. Then, the Bears are at home taking on the Green Bay Packers. Another interesting game, because this is the start of a horrifying stretch before the bye week. And listen, this is going to depend on how Aaron Rodgers does, because over the past 2 years, Aaron Rodgers has dominated the Bears in Soldier Field. So, this will be a interesting game. The Bears secondary is going to have to keep up with some other players on the Bears. Not on the Bears, what am I saying? Other players on the just the wide receivers in general. The Packers have Devontae Adams. They have Amari Rodgers. Now, if Aaron Rodgers stays, this could have a whole effect on the game. If Aaron Rodgers does not stay, I don't think he will. Actually, I think he will stay for 1 year. That's just my opinion. He might stay for this year, but I don't think he's going to return next year. That's my opinion. I don't think the Bears have a really good chance to win this game. I have the Packers winning. So, now, the Bears are on the road taking on the defending Super Bowl champions. The Bucs have a good chance to win it all again. They have a good chance to win it all again. And I don't think I have to explain much. I think this will be a good game, and this should be. I think this will be a win for the Bucs, but this will be a good game to watch. Then, and another interesting game to see how the team pans out. The 49ers on the road against the Chicago Bears. The last time the Bears played against the 49ers were an injury-riddled team just like they were last year. And they have lots of returning stars. They have Nick Bosa. They have Jimmy Garoppolo, George Kittle. They should have some other wide receivers. They have a new top quarterback of the future. They have to hope for that because they got rid of all the draft capital to get him. This should be a good game. I think the 49ers defense won't be as good as they were in 2019. I think this will be decent, but I think the Bears will be able to get by this game. I have the Bears winning this game and going to 5-3 on the year. So, good start. For Chicago, then could get after the bye week, it gets a bit easier. But right now, Monday Night Football game, primetime on the road against my dad's Steelers, and depending on how the Steelers defense plays this year, it's going to be a good game depending on how the defense of the Steelers is doing. Overall, based on win percentages of teams that they're playing against, Steelers have the hardest schedule in the league. In my opinion, I think the Bears have like the second hardest schedule in the league behind the Steelers. So, I think they're actually technically the third. But the Steelers are a good team. I don't think their passing game is going to be that good this year because their blocking is going to be awful. Their running game is not going to be that good. And it's going to be this game could be a mess for the Steelers offense. This is going to be a defensive battle, in my opinion. It should be a defensive battle. All in all, I do think the Steelers will win this game. And the Bears only get one win in this 4-game stretch. Then, after the bye week, the Bears take on the Ravens at home. And, listen, this game is going to be a good game. Don't get me wrong. When was this game at? 3 p.m. Eastern. So, it's going to be a 4 o'clock game. This should be one of the better games of the week. The Bears have quite a few 4 o'clock games this year. And this is going to be, in my opinion, going to going to be one of the best games for a chance to have Justin Fields play. If Justin Fields plays in this game, he's going to be electrifying. I don't think the Bears are going to try. The Bears are going to try and get Andy Dalton to play as much as he can before he gets worn out. I think this is a good game, and Chicago doesn't want to have a repeat of what happened last year where they lost 6 in a row. They shouldn't lose 6 in a row this year. I think Chicago wins this game mainly because it also going to have to depend on the Ravens' passing attack. If it's not that good, like it wasn't as good last year wasn't that good, the Ravens are going to be not as good. They're going to be around the same, maybe a tiny bit better than last year. If their passing game isn't much better. If it improves by quite a bit by adding, I believe it was Rashad Bateman in the draft, and Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace was a steal, by the way. I wish the Bears got him, but they didn't. I don't think the Ravens' running game should be decent as well. It's going to depend on the Ravens' defense. I don't think it's going to be as good as it was this year or last year. It's going to depend on the Ravens' defense, how good they are. But this will be a good game for the Bears. I think the Bears surprise people and get the win here. Then Thanksgiving, let's go. Bears take on the Lions, and listen. The Bears came back in week 1 last year to defeat the Lions. This shouldn't happen again. Even though this game is in Detroit, I think the Lions are going to I think the Lions are going to be swept by the Bears. Listen, the Lions aren't that good. Are not going to be good this year. They're not going to win more than 5 games. Trust me here. Then, a interesting turn of events. Bears take on the Cardinals, who are coming off their bye week. And this should be a good game. It's going, once again, Kyler Murray can scramble. But can his wide receivers get open? He has D-Hop. He has A.J. Green. He has Rondale Moore. He has... Trying to think, but I can't think. So this will be a good game for both teams. This should be a high-scoring game, in my opinion. Both teams should have 30 points in this game. But I do think the Cardinals surprise people and beat the Bears. Bears go to 7-5. Playoff hopes are going to be in question. Then the Bears are on the road against the Green Bay Packers. Packers are coming off their bye week, which is week 13. This is also going to be another interesting game because the Bears have playoff hopes on the line, even though there's still 5 games left in the year. If they don't win out, there's going to be a good chance they don't make the playoffs. And I think I said the Bears were going to win anywhere from 8 to 10 games. I still remain true to that. So they gotta remain. So if they can get on the upper end of that, they have to win 3 games in the upcoming 5-game stretch, which should be easy enough. I think the Bears surprised many. They beat the Packers in Lambeau. I sound crazy when I say this, and I know this. But listen, it depends on how Packers passing or running or like defensive line is going to do. If they can get to Dalton or Fields, depends on who's starting after this point. The Dolphins rushed into it. It didn't go that well for them. But listen, this is going to be a shootout of a game. Overall, I think the Bears' passing game surprised many, and Dalton or whatever could throw for 3 touchdowns, maybe 250 yards. I don't think he's going to get 4,000 yards this year, but he's going to have a couple of great games. I don't think great games, but a couple of good games. So, now, the Bears are on Monday Night Football again, taking on the Minnesota Vikings in Week 15. I believe this might be the last primetime game for the Bears, if I'm not mistaken. So this will be another fun game for the Bears in general. I think the Bears are going to do well in this game. They might not win in the Week 18 matchup. I said they might not. This should be a good game. I think the Bears win at home in this game. I think the Bears cornerbacks are going to do well. Again, this is going to rely on mainly the Bears defense for this game. If they can stop Dalvin Cook, they stop the entire Vikings offense. So that's going to depend on that, or most of the Bears, not most of the Vikings offense. If they stop Dalvin Cook, then the Bears are on the road taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Week 16. Another good game, but this is not going to be a good game for Chicago's offense. I mean defense. It's not going to be good for them. I think Seattle wins this game, which brings the Bears record to. I clicked on an ad. Whoops. Forget about that. Brings the Bears record to 9-6 on the year. Playoff hopes are again on the line. Then the Bears are at home against the New York Giants. The Bears are going to do well in this game. Listen, the Bears are going to have a good. I keep on saying things wrong, which is not good for me. The Giants' defense, I don't think it's going to be that good this year. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be bad. It's just going to be average. It's going to be an average defense. Middle of the pack passing defense. Middle of the pack running defense. This should be a good game for Chicago. They should get the dub here and get themselves to 10 wins on the year. Then in Week 18, what could be playoff hopes on the line, Bears are on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. This should be just a regular. Oh, it's the 3 o'clock game. So this could be, in my opinion, the biggest game for the Bears this year. I said the Bears have a. I didn't actually say this in the video. I think the Bears have a decent chance to make the playoffs if they lose this game. They have almost a guaranteed % chance to make the playoffs if they win this game. Vikings win this game. I'm going to give a deep explanation as to why I think the Vikings will win this game. Reason 1, this time I think Dalvin Cook will get some running length. He should have over 100 yards rushing. This game could be disastrous for the Bears defense. And 2, the Vikings offense, passing offense is going to be good. I think the defense will be okay in this game, but I think it's going to be enough to stop the Bears. I have the Bears losing in Week 18 and having them finish at 10-7. Bears fans may not like me, I know, for saying that they lose Week 18, which sounds weird, but it's just my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you don't like it, I don't blame you. I did some research before I did this, unlike the previous time I did this. So, I think this is just my opinion. You can agree or disagree with it in any way, shape, or form. Except physical fighting, because I'm horrible at that. Anyways, see you guys next time. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'm going to try and hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's hope it happens, because last time it didn't really work out. And yeah, see you guys later with some more record predictions. Hopefully tomorrow or the weekend, when I'm uploading this or whatever. Bye.